Hi there, folks. Time for me to do another book review, and it strikes me that at the start of these videos, I should probably say if I'm going to be making lots of spoilers. I haven't really thought about that so far, um, and that's a bit careless, really, because it could well be that I give a very high rating and really recommend a book and give you some sense of why I find it exciting or stimulating. And then I might kind of give away too much, and then you might think, well, I wouldn't want to read this. So I'm going to try this out. I'm also trying something new my iPhone just told me I could do, which is cinematic mode, and I'll see if that makes a particular difference. Um, Judging by my image on my iPhone, it looks like it's focusing on me and not so much on the background. I don't know if we like that. I mean, the background's a bit prettier than me, really, but let's see how this video goes. And if anyone has a comment or guidance or suggestion, then please, give it to me. That'd be great. So, um, stop and start a little bit on this one. I have now finished, and this is going to be the subject of my review, the three body problem. Uh, and I don't know if I'm going to pronounce the guy's name, Cixin Liu, I'd say. Let's hope. So, right. 4.9 stars. Yes, I really enjoyed it. Yes, it was really good. But a few things to say. So, if you have not read it and would like to have been interested in reading it, and you may have seen the adaptations, then stop here, go and read the book, come back when you've read the book, see if we agree. Okay. I am thinking now this cinematic thing is just doesn't really give. I'm wondering if the sort of focus thing's not so good. But anyway, right, I'm started now, so I'll finish. Okay. Right. Things that are wrong. Things that are wrong about it. It does. I didn't feel like any of these people. Maybe the central character. There's two central characters. There is the good guy and the nice little old lady who turns out to be very, very, very bad. Um, betrayer of the human race, no less. And okay, those two did feel like people, yes. There was some personality, not a lot of personality in the nanotech guy, really. Much more in the antagonist, I suppose we'd call her. The tragic heroine, perhaps as well. That is certainly legitimate, I think. Her story is tragic, and her motivations for what she does are understandable in the context of that. I'd say, and that's one of the interesting ethical, cultural, historical themes of the book, right? But everyone else, paper thin. The and I'm sorry if this is racist, then I really do apologise. But the names are very unfamiliar, and even though they act and speak and do completely understandable, relatable things and talk about things in a way that I would or you would, it's just there's a little bit of an alienation effect by the fact that they called such different names to a Western reader. Okay, I'm sorry, that's a reflection of my experience. And it's very useful that there is as in the great Russian novels one read as a teenager. That's kind of a dramatis personae, cast of characters type thing. You do find yourself going back to that quite a lot. Okay, now that's my fault. That's not the book's fault, but that is again, it's an element of the reading experience. Some parts of this book read like Wikipedia entries. They just do, and there's a kind of quite a lot of a flat effect in very long passages, and there are some kind of and I think the translator's note to the back says that this might have been part of his kind of translation technique, and perhaps this reflects the kind of original writing and styles of the book, which obviously is in a completely different literary tradition to the one I'm used to. So I don't know. But then you have that Wikipedia effect. These short, flat sentences and lots of definitions and physics lectures. Right now, I didn't mind them. Okay, because the ideas were interesting. Towards the end of the book, there's a whole thing about the Sophon, which is just way above my head. I did not have a clue. I really didn't. All these multiple dimensions and all the rest of it, kind of thing. Wow. And that was very Wikipedia-y. But I mean, since I'd no thread to guide me, it was like, okay, yeah, sure, carry on explaining, carry on explaining. I'm sure there's a point to this, and we'll get there. Um, and I'd say that for a certain class of reader who maybe wasn't used to a certain kind of science fiction or a certain kind of even techno thriller form of writing, then this could be very off-putting, I think. Now, I didn't find it so because I'm a science fiction fan. I like hard science fiction. I like soft science fiction as well, but that's for another topic. And I don't mind vast, physics lectures kind of things because he does really interesting things with them. The Sophon is an amazing idea, amazing tool of warfare and espionage, incredible. The nanotech, the nanowire destruction of the ship. That was an amazing piece of writing. Incredible, incredible concepts. Um, uh, so I really was thinking as I was reading this. I wish I hadn't read. I wish I hadn't watched the adaptation. I think the Netflix adaptation, having read the first book, and I think they towards the end of this season they went off into maybe parts of book 2 or 3. I don't know, not read them yet, and I will actually now, very much so. But then, because if I'd come to this cold, that stuff would have blown my mind. The Cultural Revolution, it's depicted in such horror, and just that's like you wouldn't believe that if someone told you that for 10 years China was completely mad, and so wars between factions of Red Guards. Really, I didn't know this. The whole kind of I knew there was an insane disruption of the society, but once you feel it in the experience of a sympathetic character, then it makes it just so absolutely tragic and horrific. Um, sorry. So that was amazing. I think the whole thing about war, a covert war, an espionage war between two civilizations in space, that was really interesting. The whole kind of the destroying physics, that was amazing. That was the countdown thing, which they only did one character, but fine. And that was so clever. Um, yeah, the aliens transmission and a depiction of the Trisolarian society. I can't remember what they have a better name for them in the Chinese name. I think in the in the Netflix. And like I said last time, I've not seen the Chinese adaptation, which I think is on YouTube, and I'd rather read the two books, to be honest with you, after this experience. Well, anyway, but because I had watched the other great thing is the computer game. That's amazing. That's such a great idea. That's such a great conceit. That's really so good. The whole ascending through the three body problem. The samurai. Well, she wasn't a samurai woman. She was just a woman with a sword. They have in the Netflix version. I think that was very very cool. Actually, and a very good addition. So I might actually go back. I mean, don't think I'd watch all of it. I'd go back and watch the Netflix now because I think it was well done. I think it was very well done. I hope they do the other two books, the other two seasons, and I believe that's the plan over whatever time frame. Um, so what does one want from science fiction? You want great concepts. You want I don't think you go to science fiction for great characters and great emotional path, arcs and love stories, and you just don't. I mean, if you get that, fantastic, and I think there's more of that in there than used to be. You go for the big ideas, the BDOs, the big dumb objects, the massive, crazy scale and physics and engineering and world building and galactic war and nanotechnology and all these amazing things. Brilliant. This absolutely gives me all of that. Okay, but I think that it gives me that with the kind of the genuine novelty and freshness and alienness of the Chinese perspective on it all. I think it adds really elevates it to something really, really rather remarkable. So I'm going to sum up by saying I think this was a terrific book. I did get stuck in it. I did. I did. There was a sticky patch. Excuse me. About 4/5 of the way through, which it took me a couple of nights to want to sort of go back to it. But then when I did, I enjoyed it, and then it picked up pace, and the last 100 pages zip by because you finally kind of know what's going on. And I love the whole kind of conspiracy and the yes, brilliant. Okay, so I think this is a terrific book. I've had it for, I think it was out in 2012. I've known it was name checked as such an amazing thing for in the kind of in the community and fan base and awards and everything. So I was aware of it. I thought Chinese science fiction, yeah, I'd like to get there, but when at my own pace. Fabulous stuff. Really, 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 really good. So yes, excellent stuff. Very good. I'd say 4.9 because the Wikipedia bits are and sometimes I hate writing that's just the same kind of length of sentence. Duh, 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 duh. I hate stuff without any kind of. I like a bit of rhythm. I like a bit of prosody. I like a tiny little bit of poetry in my narratives and my stories, and there's a little bit of that, but he could have added a little bit more, Chinese five spices to that. Get it? Right. So yes, very good. If you're in science fiction, if you've not read it, you should read it. I'd give it. I'd think about it as a Christmas present for an uncle or a dad, or an auntie or a mum. Of course, of course. I mean, I know my host's wife is a big fan of this book and the TV series. So don't interpret that as sexism. But I think men do tend to go to this a little bit more, this kind of genre, don't they? And I'd also say I've heard that apparently it's sort of recommended as an intro physics text because it does present some really good ideas in a good way, and I can see that. But it's more than that. It's more than a Wikipedia article. It is a good novel. It's exciting. It's interesting. It's scary. It is scary because we're happily sort of beaming, hello, hello, come and see us out to the universe, and the guy ends in the postscript by saying, "Why are we doing that? Why don't we do that with all the species and fellow humans on Earth and cooperate and build something lovely with them and be totally on our guard against what might be out there?" Interesting stuff. So great. Thank you for your time and attention. Like and subscribe if you want to. Hope you're doing well in any TBRP. And I need a little bit of a palate cleanser after that. So I've never read this guy. I've never read Terry Pratchett. Okay, I've just never have. I've never bothered sitting through all of the multiple Sky adaptations, right? But I kind of got this from the estate, as it were, of my dear lovely friend Mark, who died a couple of years ago, and I thought, well, I'll give it a go. Having said I've read Good Omens, but you don't know how much of that is Neil Gaiman, he who must not be named, and how much was original Ect Terry. So it'd be quite interesting. So I think I just picked it out of the box. Don't going in cold. Discworld novel. Let's see. Don't think it'll take me too long. Looks quite fun, and that's my kind of next book. So thanks one and all. See you later. Get that TBRP done. Get on that blood sugar diet if you're feeling worried about things. Do some exercise. Drink some water. All right. See you all. Bye bye. Bye bye.